Now, I get it. Rats in this game are not exactly well appreciated. Even I agree that going full chat is often more fun than routing around shoving graphics cards into my gamma. But sometimes you just get head-eyed a bit too much and you need to make some quick cash. Now, many people may say that the best map to make money is Shoreline, but you have to buy a ton of keys, and in my experience, you run into a mega geared boys a lot. Oh my god. I get it! Shut up! Anyways, the map for you to run for money is Reserve, cause Reserve is well...
Rat's paradise.
Yeah. Now, in order to maximize money in this run, you are going to want these 3 keys, which during the beginning of the wipe go for a maximum probably 500k combined. It may seem like a lot, but you can make that money back in one run. Now, this is a very short 10-minute run at max. You really are at the minimum. Because of the fact that you want to be able to sell some of the stuff on the flea market, you are going to want to extract after 10 minutes. So that you do not get a found or a run-through status. Now, what I recommend doing with this run is it largely depends on where you spawn, which is going to be the first building you can hit. If you do spawn next to it, I strongly recommend hitting either marked or this building first, as they tend to be very popular, and if you're the first person there, you'll probably be able to get what's inside. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come up here. And all of us know this this drop-down building. Anybody who's looked up how to be a rat knows this, but what's good to know is the different stuff that spawns in here. I have occasionally found graphics cards in here, but they're not worth that much. RAM is worth taking now. At the top of it, it can sell for like 30k, but you can check on this shelf, this shelf, this shelf, this shelf, and this shelf. Typically, there's like a graphics card or something. So as soon as you're finished up looting in here, what you can do is you can either leave, and you can go loot that building there, or not that building, the little underground area there. I'll show it to you soon. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to come in here, and this is where the RBSMP key is used. And when you come in here, come on, what you can do is if you come in here, there can be an ophthalmoscope, golden stars. Right now there's ibuprofen, but this can be a room where you get a bunch of meds, and this is one of the rooms that's going to take a bit longer to pay for itself, but you can get injectors, which go for a lot, and you can get ophthalmoscopes, which go for a lot, and you can get all sorts of stuff. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hop out this window here, and immediately move into here. And this will enable you to check these areas. You can get graphics cards on the floor, you can get high value things such as like military cable, MGTs, iridium, all that good stuff. Tetrazes, sometimes you can get those. You can also come in here, and there can be stuff that spawns in between and on these, as well as on here. And then the other room in this building you want to check is right through this door. What I've learned is if this door is open, don't even bother coming in here. Come right here, look at that, we got a graphics card right there. And you can get MGTs, filters, military cable, all sorts of really nice stuff in this room here. Now, an imperative part to knowing how to run this map, especially without Red Rebel, is knowing the tunnels underneath these buildings. So if you come through here, and you get to this gate right here, this is imperative to you. This is your safe area. Very few people know about this area, so more commonly, or not know, but know the area. So more commonly than not, you will only find other rats down here. Now, to keep yourself as quiet as possible, there's a technical supply crate there, there's a medical crate here, and there's a ration crate here. Sugar, that's the only reason you should check that. You come around this backside, it's quieter and safer in my opinion than going through the doors, and you flip this switch. That'll allow you to get to D2, and if you check in here, you can also find iridiums, MGTs, all sorts of good stuff. And as soon as you come out here, this is the way to marked room, right here. So if you weren't the very first person to get to marked room, and you want to wait a little bit. If you don't spawn next to marked room, I recommend leaving it for last, as it is least likely to get you killed. Because if you go early, if you go first, you'll probably be able to escape in time. But if you show up even a slight bit late, odds are you're going to get murdered by somebody. Also remember, rats like to camp in there, and rats like to camp in here. So be sure you check those, unless you're the first person here. Now, with that said and done, you want to come down here. There's two ways of doing it. You could either go outside and go up the mountain, or if you've already got quite a bit of decent loot, you come down here, and you take a left, and here is the stairwell that goes down to the D2 bunker. Now remember, this is where we came in right here, so if you already have a bunch of stuff and you just want to dip with some good money, you just come down those stairs and wing a right, and you are right there. Now this is another area you have to be careful of exit campers. For some reason, some guys like to camp right here. I guess it's because most people will just be looking ahead and won't ever check that corner. Sometimes they can be behind the door, but I've rarely ever seen it. Most commonly, they'll camp behind this drum right here, so pay attention to that. If you look down in here, you can find things such as expeditionary fuel cans or filters or motors, and that can be a good way to boost your income if you don't have anything. I recommend bringing a backpack and a vest, just because, you know, they're so cheap, you might as well. Now, this is the way we have to go to exit, so we'll save that for last. If you come down here, there is an intelligence folder spawn right here. And if you come up here, you can check inside these things. I've never found anything in them. Maybe there's something in them, I don't know. Come up here, you can check. I believe there's an intel folder spawn on this area. Somewhere along this desk here, there's an intel spawn, and you have a safe right here. Saves are always good to hit because they take very little time, and they could always have valuables in them. Or if you just want to take a few thousand rubles, that's also okay. Now keep in mind, we've only been in this raid for 6 minutes so far, and we've already hit most of the locations. Now you can check this. I've found filters on top of there and down there, so that's always good to check. If you come into this room, you can find NGTs, SG, C110s, I believe, whatever the radio thing is that sells for 87k to Therapist. Also want to check in here. You come back here, you can check for 60 rounders or PKO6s. Those are awesome because they sell for a lot. Oh wow. And then if you still want a bit more money, you can come all the way up these steps, come through here. You want to open this door here, check for the safe right here. Right, it's just like that. We got a cat and some rubles. You can check this computer if you want. You can check in here for a DVL10 or something. Sometimes there's graphics cards in the computer, but it's a very low chance, so I wouldn't recommend risking it. Now you can check in here. You got a safe right here. And I've heard that keys spawn on that. I've literally never found one, and I've also never found anything valuable in that box, but supposedly something can spawn in there. And just like that, we have completed the run. That took me 30 minutes to obtain all that. It was well over several mil, so it's a good way to get some extra cash. Be careful here. Some a-holes like to exit camp. A good rat doesn't exit camp, people. Remember that. And there can be filters, MGTs, stuff that spawns right there. I believe there's supposed to be an intel folder that spawns somewhere over here. You can check this duffel bag. And you can check these two jackets. You can find keys. You can find literally anything in jackets. If you have the time, check the jackets, please. And last, you're going to want to come in here, check behind the door, and then this is the button you have to push to open the door to D2.